Kabir, everyone. Today we are gathered for first ever virtual Youth Bhakta Milan. In the past, we have done Bhakta Milan or Youth Bhakta Milan or Bal Vikas at local levels. But during the pandemic, we couldn't keep up. So question arose from many youth. Can we start virtual Bhakta Milan in English? So we can connect with our identity and our roots. So Bhakta Samaj of USA came together and heard your voice. So today we are doing first virtual Bhakta Milan. Many of you probably know this will be done on monthly basis. We wanted to try what day works for you, what day doesn't work for you. So we tried Sunday today. And we would like to hear from you at the end or in a week or two, give what day works for you so we can schedule better. We all understand you're young, you're going to school, college, and you have many other things doing on weekends. So we can work it out. That's not a problem. What is our goal for Youth Bhakta Milan? Mainly our language will be in English. So you can understand. Our medium will be English. So you can relate, you can understand. And what we want to do is connect with our roots. So you are well informed, well learned. So if you can answer question about our traditions. So we will begin with our as normal tradition that you've probably seen at the hall when we celebrate. So Swami Kripa Karo, Anand Aarti, and Swami Kripa Karo. Later on, we will learn today what are the significance, why we do. It'll be reason-based explanation. And our goal is to be reason with everything what we do. And trust me, there's a good reason behind everything what we do. So we will begin with Swami Kripa Karo, Anand Aarti, then Swami Kripa Karo, then our speaker, Jinal Ben will come, then Naresh Bhai will come, and we will, at the end, we will go to you and ask if you have any questions, or we have a few poll setups. So you can do you can answer in a polls. We'll send the poll question during the Bhakta Milan, and you can answer the poll. And at the end of the Bhakta Milan, we have a survey. So send the survey, fill it out, the survey, so we can gather information about logistics, how can timing and time frame works for you. Okay, so welcome everyone in our first virtual Youth Bhakta Milan. Ram Kabir.
Ram Kabir. My name is Jinal. Many also know me as Sweetie, and I live in Massachusetts. And I have been here for the last 29 years. So that's 75% of my life. You will learn a lot about me in today's introduction of this platform. And I'm only sharing the information about me because as part of this platform, we actually want you to truly get to know yourself and your own identity. And the only way to do that is to also know each other and who we are as a Samaj. Like Jaibai said, that we will have several polls today. And I think the first poll we are about to send out. So this will help us get to know the demographics, who is actually attending the meeting today. And that will help us guide the talk as we go on today. So if you can just answer these 3 questions really quickly, you can do multiple choice. If there's multiple people sitting with you, just punch in the numbers for the age, how many people are sitting with you, and we will get some more information as to who is attending this meeting. Awesome, thank you. The numbers are rolling in. So while these numbers are rolling in, I'm going to get started. Jaibai, when we have a decent participation, if you can just share the results on the screen, that would be great too.
Will do.
So our youth, and by youth, I mean the children, approximately ages 5 through 25, they usually have a lot of questions. And this platform is for the younger generations. So not only for the children, but also their parents, anyone who speaks in English, to come together and learn about our Samaj. I actually personally, I fall into this middle generation, right? And I'm calling this the bridging generation. So I was born in India, raised in the United States. The generation that bridges my parents who are actually born and raised in India and my children who are born and raised here. So the first generation, when my parents or the parent generation, the first generation to come, immigrated, they faced many challenges of establishing a new home, a new lifestyle in this country. And during this time, they kept their children connected to the Samaj through the 4 annual Samaj events. Some even began speaking in English at home as additional practice so they wouldn't fall behind in school. So all of these choices made back then are part of the reasons and inspiration for this platform. There is a whole generation like me that understand Gujarati and we speak Gujarati, but sometimes we like to speak in English to get our message across because that's just how our brains work. And that is perfectly okay. Not only that, we are also raising a new generation of youth that are born in this country who may or may not be fluent in Gujarati, and they definitely do not have a full concept of what a Samaj is or what being part of Samaj is. Of course, they know that we take them to our Samaj events, and sometimes we have to drag them there. But they also fear from us as parents that if they have a talent or an artistic skill, that we will make them go up on stage in our Samaj events. And trust me, I have been there once and I've made my kids do it too. But I think once they know a little bit more about our Samaj, they may feel comfortable actually going to all of these events as well. So we all recognize the need to explore our legacy and our traditions. And by we, I mean the older generations. And that is why people like me are the bridge. This platform will help us learn our identity as a Uda Bhakt and pass it on to our children. And if the children are sitting with you today, that's even better. That's awesome. Children, if your parents are actually making you sit through this and they're not with you, I want you to take notes. Just take notes, write a few words here and there, and make sure to ask your parents later if they know what you learned today. So do we have the result of the poll so we can just get to know who's joining us today?
Yes, we do. I can share with you, Janelle.
Yes.
So in the age group, we have 50% people in 7 to 12 age group.
Oh, wow.
36%, those who voted, okay? 36% are between 13 to 18. 11 people are between 7 to 12. 8 people are between 13 to 18. 12 people are between 30 to 45. 3 people are between 46 to 65. Okay.
So we have a wide range of group here.
Right. 9 people, they say mostly English. 14 people say half Gujarati, half English. 5 people were mostly Gujarati.
Okay.
So how many people are attending with you? They were, so we have
I'm sure that's spread out everywhere.
Yeah, it's spread out multiple places. Good thing is, majority people are not 1, 2. They're like 2 or 3 or 4 people are with them.
Yeah. So it's great that people are joining in as a family, and that's exactly what we want because this is a multi-generational platform. Some of our families.
Absolutely, this is awesome, man, and this is a good start. And we will keep the poll open for a while. Then when we want to close we can close it. Okay.
Awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.
Continue, please.
All right, so I will continue. So who are we? Who and what is our Samaj? What does Samaj even mean? And what is our identity? So I want to start with a story, and it's actually a true story, which happened earlier this year. So my family was outside. We were in our backyard, and we were building a playset. And the home behind us had an open house. During this time, I received a call from India. So I was actually speaking in Gujarati outside in my backyard. And you know how voice echoes and it travels, right? So a few moments later, I hear someone yelling, and they say, "Oh Ben, tamne questions puchwa che," from the deck of the house behind us. And I was shocked. But I walked over to the fence, and on my tippy toes, I was looking over the fence and I tried to see them. But I only saw the top of their heads because, you know, we're still so short. And I immediately noticed the big red dot on the man's forehead. And he started by saying, "Amme Swaminarayan che, Tamme Swaminarayan cho?" And I simply answered, "No." I just didn't go anywhere else beyond that. Then they had a series of questions about the neighborhood, how long we had lived here, are there other Indians in town, where in India we're from, you know, all the generic questions. You see, all of these were identity questions. We identify ourselves with our names, our birthplace, our ancestral home, and also our Samaj or our cultural and our religious beliefs. We have this need to belong. It may not make sense, but it exists across all people and all cultures, not just us Indians or Gujaratis. It is a feeling we get when we are around those that share our values and our beliefs. When we feel like we belong, we feel connected. We feel safe. And as humans, we crave this feeling, right? We seek it out. For example, we're not friends with everyone in our hometown, but if you travel across a state and you see someone from your hometown, you feel instantly connected to them, right? The same with when you see someone from your state, if you're going across the country, or you go abroad and you feel closer to the people from your own country. So this family immediately felt connected when they heard me speak in Gujarati, and they were not afraid to ask those questions to me. So no matter where we go, we will trust those that we think have our own common values and beliefs. In this case, I was a Gujarati. And now apply this to our Samaj. By definition, a Samaj is a community that shares common values and beliefs. There are a lot of people here, and I haven't met many of you, but I know that we are all part of this Samaj, and that immediately connects us. So a few weeks after this incident, I was telling the story to my mom, and she simply asked me, "Why didn't you reply with, 'I am a Bhagat'? You should have seen my face." "What do you mean, Mom? Would they even know who Bhagats are?" To that she replied, "Of course. There are 2 Swaminarayan temples in Lowell, so they must know who Bhagats are. Some of us also go to those temples." And at that moment, I started to look within myself. What does that really mean to me? Am I comfortable saying that I'm a Bhagat to a random Gujarati-speaking person? What if they ask me about it? Do I even know enough to answer their questions? The answer, to be honest, at that time was no. How about you? How would you have responded? Do you know our values and our beliefs as a Samaj? And what does it mean to be a Bhagat? You see, I had never even thought about all of this before. The first step in our journey to know about our Samaj is to first look within you and know yourself. I'm going to actually introduce a technique, something that I have read in multiple sources, and I'm sure some of you have already heard about it. And if you have, I'm just going to ask you to give me a reaction, okay? So now I want to tell you about the 5 whys, or the why ladder. Has anyone heard of it before? And if you have, then can you just click a thumbs up button from your reactions? So I know. Yes, looks like Joybhai has heard of it. Awesome. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because I think it's a fantastic technique to search further. So, and it is exactly what it says. Simply ask the question why behind anything, behind your wants. Imagine you're climbing a ladder. Climb a step and ask the question why. Reflect on your answer and climb another step and ask why again. You keep going until you get to the root cause of your intention. And this will help us live more intentionally, meaning you will know exactly why you want to do something or not do something. This can be with anything, really. I keep hearing people say, well, all this Samaj, spiritual things are not for me. Why? I ask. Well, the answer could be, I'm too young for this. Why? Or perhaps you have another excuse. Ask why again. No matter what the reason is, keep asking that why. So you keep asking and again until you get to the real reason behind it. And perhaps you may learn that some of your reasons could be tiny hurdles that you have made into a giant obstacle in your mind. Okay, kids, this does not mean you ask why to your parents when they ask you to clean your room or to do your homework. Instead, I want you to ask yourself, why are your parents asking you to do that? Right? And then you will learn their real intentions also. So why am I here? Why is this platform in English? Well, let me tell you. We are shaped by our experiences. So I have another personal experience which happened around the same time as the conversation that I had with the Swaminarayan couple. This time it had to do with my fluency in Gujarati. Without going too much into the story, I just want to say that it took me a few months to realize I am not alone. There are more like me. Why should we struggle with who we are, and why do we let others judge us and affect us? I am the product of my environment, the new land that my parents brought me to, and I fully accept that. Not only that, our children are constantly torn between their home life and their school life and their social life. We have to do something for them so they are comfortable with who they are and find a good balance in knowing all aspects of their identity. That is when I personally realized the need for this platform. I did not know how it will happen or who will be with me, but I knew that we needed this. Perhaps the idea of an English platform crossed other minds as well, but their intention and their motivation may likely be different than mine. I just told you my why, right? There are a series of events that led to today. This did not happen overnight. And yes, there is a team with me. And maybe in the future, or maybe even later today, you may hear their whys. So that is why this platform is in English. No one is better or worse for knowing one language or the other. It is exactly what it is. I respect if you know only Gujarati. I respect if you know only English. Lucky are those that are privileged to have spent time in both the countries and can easily communicate in both. And then once I figured this out, I recently learned that there's a group of us Bhagats that only speak Hindi. Go ahead. What a diverse group that we have. And we're diverse in more than one way. And this is only language. So this platform is for the English-speaking generations, yes, multi-generational, like we already said, and I'm so happy to hear that we have all, at least multiple generational families joining us. And it's not only for kids. I really do want to emphasize that. Sometimes the kids may need help understanding what they hear on this platform. And we recommend that full family participation to get the most out of this experience. Here, we will start with the basics first, learn more about our history of our Samaj, and then slowly move to the spiritual aspects. We are taking away the language barrier for our youth. But as a Samaj, we should also recognize that Gujarati is our native language. And to maintain our heritage, we should make a very good attempt to learn it and to speak it. I just can't emphasize enough, we are a migrating Samaj, and we always have been. We should definitely carry with us what our ancestors have given us, but also adapt to our new settings. And this platform is our attempt at adapting. So let me ask you, what is your why? Why are you here? Maybe you were curious about this new meeting, or maybe you actually wanted to join, or maybe you had this idea in your head already, or maybe someone convinced you to be here. Whatever the reason it may be, you are here. These questions will jumpstart those thoughts in your head, right? Let them flow. Find your why. This will help you have an open mind to learn about our Samaj and its traditions. Trust me, I personally don't know a lot about a lot of things, and I may even know less than you about our Samaj, but I know myself and I know my why. This why has challenged me to be better, to face my fears. For instance, this, right? Public speaking. As you may have noticed, I am still looking at my notes on the screen or on paper, but the best part is that I know I'm growing in this process. I read somewhere that you just have to believe you can do it. If you keep the image of your goal in your mind, you will succeed, and others will support your journey. And this is very true. So, am I concerned that this effort will fail? No, not really. I consider this a success, even if today I inspire one person here to come back and to learn about our history, and maybe even start learning about our Samaj on their own. The success of this platform will be measured by how many are inspired to work on their own personal growth. Personally, I have a little to gain from speaking on this platform and stepping out of my comfort zone, right? But I am here despite my fears of public speaking. Do you know why? Because I know my why. We need this platform as a Samaj. You see, this is me, right here, the real me. I do this on my own, from my own free will. I am not doing this to please someone or have someone say, great job. I'm doing this because I know my why. And I'm raising my children to embody some of these life skills that I'm sharing with you. Have I convinced them that learning about our history is a great idea? No, I'm not really sure, to be honest. They're logged in, so I will ask them once I'm done with this. Will I keep trying though? Of course, yes. Why? Well, because deep down, I know it is important. Will they disagree with me? Probably, maybe. But will I keep trying? Yes. Because you might have guessed it, I know my why. I will be patient with them so they can figure out their why, or perhaps why not. Yes, I know they're listening to this, and I'm giving away this secret right now, and they're probably laughing too. But I also know that they respect my logical reasoning with them, instead of simply saying, do this because I said so. All right. I think, Jaibai, we're ready for our next poll. If you want to send the poll about, I'm going to ask the audience a question and Jaibai will send the next poll to you. Okay. Who knows why we say Ram Kabir when greeting each other? And what is its origins?
We're getting mixed results.
Yes, definitely mixed results. Is anyone confident enough to tell us about it? Or Jaibai, do you want to take a stab with it? Or should I continue?
Well, I can try.
Yeah, so, go for it.
Sorry. Maybe we can do it together.
Yeah, sure.
So Ram Kabir, as it were, emergence of Ram Kabir, it started back probably 600 years ago, when Chatur Singh, as a prince of, I think it was a small town, as a small town or city in Jansmalpur. Jaisalmer, yes. And he heard Kabirji was in a Kabir work in Gujarat. So he came around. He wanted to talk. He wanted to gain knowledge of essentials. So he wanted to meet Kabirji. So he went to the Kabir word to meet Kabirji. When he met Kabirji, he didn't know who he was. So he asked Kabirji very lightly, "Baba, who are you?" Kabirji just smiled and just looked at him. And Chatur Singh also replied again, "Baba, I really want to know, who are you?" Kabirji very wisely said, "This body is called Kabir." Now you understand the differences when he replies it. Then he asks series of the questions. He wanted to gain knowledge. He wanted to gain wisdom. So during this process, he asked Kabirji, "Baba, I see Ram in you, but I don't see Ram in me." Kabirji said, "If you become pure, if your mind is pure as water, you will see Ram within you too." Chatur Singh then saw Ram within him and Kabirji too, but he could not differentiate the Ram and Kabir. So he said, "Ram Kabir." Now you see the wonderful reason behind it here. Ram was formless, Nirgun, and Kabirji was form, Sagun, Emni Same. He was in front of him. And he saw emergence of those two, form and non-form, together. So meaning the Ram Kabir has emergence. It's very deep reasoning why we say Ram Kabir. Right, and later on, Sadhguru Jivanji Maharaj, about 400 years ago, he established Ram Kabir Uda Bhakta Samaj. And we will actually celebrate on Sarat Purnima. And we will learn more next session about that. But this is how the Ram Kabir was formed, or emergence of Ram Kabir. That it is deep history, rich history, and God indwelling the reason behind it. That's why we call it Ram Kabir.
Perfect. That was great. So Kabirji replied, "That same Ram is also inside you. Just make yourself clear as pure water, and you will also see that Ram within you." This very conversation redefined our thoughts and our traditions. This very incident gave us a new definition of God, our new customs, and a new culture. The expression of Ram Kabir became widespread, not only in Gujarat, but also in the nearby states. When you put the two names together, we don't see God Ram and human Kabir as different. In other words, God and us humans are of the same form. Kabirji has told that Ram dwells within all of us. When our conscience becomes pure, then our inner Ram reveals himself. Kabirji's religion was about the purity of our soul and of our attitude. And he had become so pure simply by chanting the name of Ram that there was absolutely no difference between him and the Ram in his soul. And that is exactly what Jaibai was telling us. Another key thing is Ram Kabir is a single word. When we say Ram Kabir, the difference between us, it goes away. We get the feeling of us, of unity, not only with each other, but also with our supreme soul. Okay, awesome. So I'm not sure if all the kids got all this information, but at least now, kids, you know how the expression of Ram Kabir came about, and the story of Jnaniji, Prince Chatur, who's also known as Prince Chatur Singh, and Kabirji. You see, we want to familiarize ourselves with these kind of stories, so eventually we can understand the the deeper meaning behind simple conversations. Parents, if you have very young children with you, you can retell the story at their level. If you don't remember everything I said or everything Joybai said, we got most of this information from the book Essence of Jivanji, which is also on podcast now on ramkabir.org. So feel free to listen to it if you don't have the book with you. Joybai, did you want to add anything?
No, if you want to disclose the whole results, we can disclose it.
Yes, let's do that before we go on.
Like 25 people participated in a poll. 7 of them knows meaning of Ram Kabir and how it came to the formation. 10 of them, maybe I know the part of the answer, and 7 of them said, I don't know. So we got a good participation, 25 out of 60 or 63 people. So I do encourage everyone to take part of it. So this is part of the polling, so we can understand how we want to pursue next time.
Yep.
So please do take participation. Your opinion matters. Thank you.
Yep. And the polling, we won't know what you answered. It's very anonymous. So just answer freely, honestly, and you won't be judged, I promise, because we won't know exactly who answered what. Awesome. So I think we may have time to cover one more why today. Did anyone wonder why we sang Swami Kripa Karo and Anandarthi at the beginning of the meeting today? Did you notice that Joybai also sang Swami Kripa Karo twice, one at the beginning, the Aarti, and then one after? So I like to invite my dad, I just call him my dad, I never use his real name, to enlighten us on it. I'm sure you've heard him talk on many different platforms, and he's one of those lucky ones, right? He had the opportunity to live in both of the countries for maybe an equal amount of time. So he is completely fluent in Gujarati and English, and he can switch back and forth between the 2 languages. And it's amazing, and we're so lucky to have him. So Dad, can you please explain Swami Kripa Karo and Anandarthi to us?
Ram Kabir to all. It is always a pleasure speaking to multiple generations. I'm so happy that the Youth Bhakt Milan has started. It has been due for a long time. And I wish all the success to this effort that has already started. Let's stay on the subject. And the first we talk about Samput. Swami Kripa Karo Ati Gani. You must have heard this so many times. Usually, Swami Kripa Karo Ati Gani, that is how we start our satsang, or parayan, or anandarthi. There are 2 types of requests that we usually make. One is called sakam, that is called expectational. And the other is called nishkam, that is, you don't expect anything. All you expect is ultimate joy. The samput we have, Swami Kripa Karo Ati Gani, is aiming at this niskam. That is, your love towards God is unconditional. It is the higher love, the love that gopis did without any reason. In other communities, to get involved, to get into the group, there is karma kant, so that you can bring your attention to the ceremony. Whereas in our community, very unique, because we follow Niskam Bhakti, we only sing Swami Kripa Karo Ati Gani. And this is where we are asking for the mercy of God, the help of God. And the meaning is really superb. Swami Kripa Karo Ati Gani, that is, please help us. Bhajo aneka vichar. It means there may be a lot of bad thoughts. There may be a lot of bad influences. Bhajo aneko vichar. Uda Bhakt Samaj is all about purity, pure thoughts. So Bhajo aneko vichar, it means please help me get rid of all the bad thoughts. Achala bhakti de taheri. Please give me the devotion where I will not move from. I will stay put. Achala bhakti de taheri. Jeche mukti bhandar. Because I want ultimate salvation, the true salvation. And because of this, I am asking for help. Now, this is called Samput. Samput is basically sung for two reasons. Number one is to bring your attention from the outer world into the Parayan or the Arti you are going to do. You need to stay focused. This Samput is sung 2 times usually. It is like this. When you exercise, you do a repeat exercises. First time you're telling your muscles, basically that you are planning to work this group of muscles. And when you repeat it second time, that's when your muscles get toned and you get better at it. And the third time you master it. So basically it is sung 2 times because it takes time for mind to bring into the groove. And for it to come into the right groove, the right state of mind, so that it does not wander, we do Samput. No karma kand, only singing of Swami Krupa Karo Ati Gani 2 times at the beginning brings our attention in. And when we are all done with Parayan or Arti, because Parayan and Arti, it is our one-on-one time with God. And when it is our one-on-one time with God, we also do Samput at the end. So the reason we do Samput at the end is also almost the same. That whatever we have secured with our relationship of being one-on-one with God, we want to kind of cover it completely. So first time we sing Samput, it is basically to bring our attention from the outer world to the inside world, because Kabir Sahib and Jivanji Maharaj said that everything that you have is inside you. Explore it. The ultimate happiness is within you. And that's where we bring our attention to inside. And second time, whatever we have done, we properly cover it up. So it's like when you cook a good food in a kitchen, what do? To prepare, you do a lot of good stuff. But when everything is all done, you cover it with a nice cover so that the freshness remains. That is how Samput is done in the beginning and also at the end. I hope this explains. Ram Kabir.
Thank you. That was amazing. That was a great explanation, Dad. And I was taking notes myself because when he usually speaks, it's always a surprise to me. And I always take notes to refer back to later. So kids, I really do hope you're taking those notes so you can ask those parents the questions or you can have a conversation later on. Before we open it up to everybody else, I really do want to review the purpose of this platform. And I really do hope it's clear to you. And if you missed it, I don't think you would have missed it. But in case you missed it, it's actually very simple. We just wanted to have a place, a meeting space for English-speaking generations in our Samaj, a place where they can interact with each other, right? We want us to interact. We should interact and learn about our Samaj and truly, truly get to know each other and to get to know yourself, ourselves. It's simple, as in we're already having this very first virtual meeting, but we still have a lot to do. This is only the beginning. This is a journey of a lifetime. Well, because we can never stop learning about ourselves. We should never stop working on our own self-development. I want to thank every single one of you that has taken the time out of your busy lives to join us today. Each one of us is on our own journey. And by you being here, our journey has momentarily aligned. And why did that happen? I honestly don't know the reason why you're here, what your personal reason is, but you are here. And by being here, you learned why we are inspired to do this. And just knowing this has raised your conscious awareness. Maybe it has triggered questions in your mind. Let those thoughts flow. Once you become more aware, you will want to know even more. For me, this is something that inspires me. It sets something on fire inside of me. It's my purpose. I hope this session has inspired you. You have that fire lit inside of you, and you now have the desire to want to learn more about who you are and who we are as a Samaj. We like to hear from you now, so feel free to raise your hand or simply just join the conversation. And definitely, please invite everyone to participate and talk to us today. If you have a question, you can also put it in chat and we can try answering questions.
If you have questions regarding the process or session being held, please feel free to ask the questions, and we can reform, we can try to do whatever we need to make it's convenient for everyone. Or what do you think about today's sessions? It was introductory sessions. We were just learning, and it's more like engaging with each other. So it's more introductory for today's session. So we have Sachin Bhagat put a question. What is the difference between Namaste and Ram Kabir? From Adhyaru. The question came from Adhyaru.
It's an amazing thing. We call it an introductory session, and a very advanced question has come. That was one of the reasons I did not go to even Anand Aarti. I just limited myself to only Samput. I knew Anand Aarti was part of this, and I did not go there because I really wanted to keep it nice and simple. But let's address this question at a very preliminary level. Namaste is Namah Taha. It is basically, I bow to God within you. That is Namaste. Namaste is kind of a generic expression in a Vedic philosophy. And it has been used very nicely at different level. Whereas and Namaste is, as I say, that it is kind of the Sanatan tradition also. Ram Kabir is specifically for Uda Bhakts. Of course, besides Uda Bhakt, there are also other Ram Kabir traditions all over Gujarat, and they are also using Ram Kabir. Ram Kabir is also the last name of one of the caste also, and that's where the Ram Kabir is used. But when we say Ram Kabir to each other, we are also saying Ram and Kabir both. Kabir is a body and Ram is soul within us, Atma within us. So what we are seeing is, we are seeing a unity. Whenever we say Ram Kabir, we are seeing a unity. Jivanji Maharaj, his whole philosophy about Uda Bhakt is about the unity, is about we all are at the same level. We all are one, Nij, that is you are of our own. So that tradition has continued, and that is where Ram Kabir has come. So Ram Kabir has a very special and deeper meaning for us. And therefore, whenever we say Ram Kabir to another person and we hug them, we meet with them, we really get a special feel, a special smile. What I call it an Uda Bhakta smile. And as Jinal, as Sweetie said prior, that you immediately connect and you immediately relate. So Namaste is kind of generic, used in our country, in India, and in yoga tradition, versus Ram Kabir is our Uda Bhakta tradition. Hope this explains.
Thank you, Naresh Bhai. We have another question from Pawan. How did Jivanji Maharaj know about Ram Kabir?
Am I taking it?
Please.
Okay. How did Jivanji Maharaj know about Ram Kabir? Super fantastic. Jai Bhai explained the word Ram Kabir. It came first time when Prince Chatur Singh, now known as Jnaniji Maharaj, because he really got Gyan, that is knowledge. So Chatur Singh's name is also Jnaniji Maharaj, and he is the first one to speak the word Ram Kabir. Now, Jnaniji Maharaj had a tradition of Shishyas, the disciples. And one of his disciples is Gopal Das Ji. And when Jivanji Maharaj reaches Gopal Das Ji in a village Choranda, that is where he meets with his guru. And this guru is part of the tradition of Jnaniji Maharaj and Kabir Sahib. And that is where he learned about the word Ram Kabir. And he accepted Gopal Das ji as Guru, and he started Uda Bhakt Ram Kabir tradition on a Sarat Punam day.
Anybody else has any questions or comments?
Oh, I see the comment about, it says, my daughter goes to private Christian school and she's delighted to learn our Bible. She knows the practical part of purity life, but happy to finally join me in this venture. I can relate to that. I went to a private school for 2 years of my life, and I learned the Bible, the Old Testament, the New Testament, and all of it when I went to school. And I really do wish what we're doing right here, right now, existed back then. It would have been great to know about our own Samaj and our own traditions and our own scriptures and books that we have at that point. So I am so happy that your daughter is excited to learn about this and she's joining in.
And that's why we have another question. What is the meaning of Uda from Kush?
Uda, in simple words, is to rise. Udit, dharma udatano. It means just to rise. It means every one of us is trying to get into the happiness, into the joy of life. And there are lots and lots of obstacles on the way. Uda is the one who overcomes all these obstacles with a true devotion to the God. So Uda is all about to rise and overcome all the obstacles that we get in the life. And there is a nice way that Jivanji Maharaj has shown to all of us. And our 14 generations have followed this, and we have been able to keep up with this. Ram Kabir.
Another question arose by from Kabir, from Jairaj. Were Kabir Sahib and Jivanji Maharaj were friends? We wanted to know if the Kabir Sahib and Jivanji Maharaj were friends.
Jairaj, I have not met with you and I have not seen you, but we are friends. Good to see you. Ram Kabir, Ram Kabir. So this is how it goes. Jivanji Maharaj had gone through the whole country. He moved all around the country and he tried to understand the right path for himself. And eventually he decided to give that right path. Once he found it, he decided to give it to us. So Kabir Sahib is almost 600 years, if we consider the history. And Jivanji Maharaj is approximately 400 years. So they absolutely did not meet. But when it comes to the thoughts, all those thoughts of Kabir Sahib and Jivanji, they basically coincided. It is like Jesus Christ and all the saints. Jesus Christ was 2000 years back. Kabir Sahib was 600. Jivanji Maharaj is 400 years. But at different times, different people come in our life and they show us the path. Kabir Sahib showed the path, a nice path, to his people back then. And Jivanji Maharaj understood it completely as his disciple, and he showed the same path to us. And therefore, in our tradition, all the Vichar Kendras, that is the thought centers that we have, they are called Kabir Sahib no Partharo.
Thank you.
You're welcome, beta.
Jaibai, do you want to send the last poll to everyone?
Absolutely. And to the last poll question, to the note, Bharat Patel also asked, like, are we always going to do the session on Sunday? So Bharat Patel, actually we are taking poll, and if whatever fits for everyone, we'll pick that weekend or day to do our Youth Bhakta Milan. So I'm gonna launch a poll and we'll collect the result. There you go. So please vote. Please tell us how you just go through the questionnaire and the poll and answer those questions so we can organize better.
Thank you, Jaibai. So I want to thank everyone that participated today, but feel free to reach out to any of us. Our Samaj is really spread out, but yet it is still so connected. someone you know may know who to contact. And of course, everyone knows how to contact Jaibai, right? The process of deciding meeting topics will be organic too, and we will absolutely take feedback from everyone. Did we convince you to come back next month? We shared a lot of things today, including life skills, the way to think, the way to learn about yourself, and really, truly, how to know yourself. Take what you like from here, apply it to your life for the next month, and notice the changes in you. It doesn't matter what age you are. Ask yourself these why questions whenever you approach anything, and see if you see a change in you. If you're motivated enough, explore one of the questions about our own Samaj and see if you can find an answer, or see if you can ask an adult in your house, or see if you can talk to anyone and they can help you answer the question. So, and definitely, I think next month, since it is around, is it Sarad Punam time? So definitely next month, we may explore the birth of our Samaj and really dive into the history of its formation. So I do hope that you will definitely join us. Poll, let's see what the poll results are.
So far in a short time, about 2 minutes in, we have 77% people said yes, third Sunday works for them.
Okay.
How did you receive this link for today? 14% people said email, about 68 people said via WhatsApp group, 18% said both.
Okay. I mean, we can certainly send it out through multiple platforms. That's fine.
Yeah. Maybe we can create a WhatsApp group for Youth Bhakta Milan.
Absolutely.
We can communicate better with that within the group.
Yeah.
So the other question was, what is the preference or mode of communication for link? 9% said WhatsApp, email, 50% says WhatsApp, and 41% didn't care. So
yeah.
I think
WhatsApp group seems to work. It has the most majority.
Right. It's of course, right, youth.
It's definitely good. It works. And so we have a survey at the end also.
Yeah.
And that survey, we are asking for your email, your phone number, and your name. And you can have multiple family members, email addresses or phone number. Actually, for WhatsApp group, we need a phone number, right?
Right. So what we can do is we will create a link.
Yep.
To join the group for the WhatsApp, so they can automatically join.
Yep.
For the, within a group. Swati said, where can I send the suggestion? For time being, Swati, if you have a suggestion, please text it here. We'll take it. If not, you can wait for until we create a WhatsApp group, or you can reach out to one of us, and we will be more than happy to take your suggestion.
Actually, when we end this meeting, you will receive a survey, and in the survey there is a section for you to comment or give additional suggestions there too, and we will receive all the surveys from it. So feel free to do it there as well. Gotcha. Did you see that, Jaibai?
What was it?
How can we create more awareness for this effort? Not everyone was they just found out 2 days ago. Okay.
I got you. We hear you. So it's a 1 year work in progress, came to closing date, and we were struggling to pick the day. And next time it'll be third Sunday, looks like it, and we will do third Sunday, and we will let everyone know early enough, and we will send our link early enough. And if it does become normal, regular, every third Sunday, then we will keep the same link for Zoom, and it's even better. So it's easier for Sid. So just to everyone know that we do in the morning Prabhatya and in the evening Sandhya Aarti, we keep the same link for whole year or more than years, I think. So So it's easier for people, so we don't have to send out every day. So we will do something like that. So I hope it works out. And if not, we are willing to change, willing to adopt. So nothing written on a stone. Whatever works best for the people, that's what we will do. So
Awesome.
please, what I would say is let everyone know. I hope you liked today's sessions, and Jinal has done tremendous work behind this. And I hope you liked today's session. It was our introductory attempt. It was our attempt. And if anything that we can improve to get better, we will do so. Our goal is only to connect with our roots and our identity, that we want to connect. We want to know ourselves and do reason behind, like we want to understand reason behind things we do. And the explanation we will give, it's always going to be reason-based. And there are rich history we just have to explore the rich history. And well thought out, well structured, amazingly well structured Samaj we have. It just, we don't know. And I think we can explore more into the migration period and transition period next time, or after that, why we have some disconnect, why we did not, so we can understand better and we can learn from it. So we make sure our kids don't have to go through the disconnectivity we may have. So that would be awesome. So please feed us feedback, and we will improve. Please go ahead.
Sure. So I think this brings us to the, before I end it, so next date will be October 17th. If you want to put that on your calendars now. So third Sunday in October will be October 17th. And we'll probably see you then. So this brings us to the end of our session. It would be great if we can all open our cameras and say the beautiful expression that we learned about today. The expression said by Prince Chatur Singh of Jaisalmer. We also know him as Gnani Ji, right? So let's say it together. Ram Kabir.
Ram Kabir.
Ram Kabir.